Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin may be a lot closer than you think. So just over a month away from a fight that could be absolutely huge. And a lot of people don't seem to think so. The first press conference has just happened, and from this we can kind of see the headspace of both fighters. Frank Martin has a very cool, calm, relaxed composure, whereas Gervonta seems to be starting a lot of conflict and doing a little more than usual. I mean, it's nothing super unusual from Tank. He just looks a little extra, that's all. But who knows, he could be pulling a Ryan Garcia and trying to sell the fight. On the other hand, this may not be an act though, and could be slightly more serious, as after the press conference, Tank was still trying to cause issues with Frank Martin, and he did say he had a lot of anger he was going to take out on him. But could this be a cause of problems outside of his life of boxing? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's his first fight back since the Garcia fight. He's had a lot of issues in his life since this happened, that time period, with him going to jail as well, which also led to him being on house arrest, which can mentally be draining as well. So we don't know if Tank will be in the right headspace for this fight, especially to be taking on Frank Martin as a first fight back, as let's not get it twisted, Frank Martin is a dangerous fighter. And I think a lot of people are overlooking him, but this is most definitely a dangerous fight for Gervonta Davis and will for sure be one of his toughest fights. But besides all that nonsense, how do I think this fight will play out? Well, let's look into the initial stats of the fight. First off, we have Tank with a record of 29-0, with a whopping 27 of those coming from knockout, and some say one of the faces of boxing. And then we have Frank Martin with also an undefeated record of 18-0 with 12 KOs. So I think it's clear who's the heavier puncher, but the skill set of Frank Martin is just no joke. It's a very, very good matchup, and I wouldn't be surprised if Frank Martin comes up with a crazy upset. Let's not forget, these two have been in the ring together before. They both sparred at the Mayweather gym before, where Tank said he hurt Frank Martin, but Frank Martin called cap on it. I guess we really never know what happened in that sparring, as for many other sparrings, until clips are released. But apparently it was a very competitive spar. So would it be like that again in the ring? But it might be a little bit different with no head guards and 8-ounce gloves, especially with Gervonta Davis's power. But if he's able to stay away from that power throughout the whole fight, I think it will be a very competitive fight. I also think a credible mention is Frank Martin's coach, Derek James, a world-class technical coach that's taken boxing to the very top, such as Errol Spence and now Ryan Garcia. And as I said, he has 12 KOs, so don't get it twisted, he has very good power. Just look at the way he folds people and do the jelly legs. He's a very slick southpaw who has the basics down to a T. He's a very patient fighter and very, very accurate too. But he also knows when to step on the gas. He's a great counter puncher with good speed. So could this catch Davis off guard? And how would Davis react to this power? In my opinion, I don't think Davis will be too affected by it. Obviously, we've never seen him really hurt in his career. Really hurt. We've seen him get caught a few times, but nothing that's rocked him really. He's been hit by the likes of Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, some of the biggest punches in the game, and he's reacted just fine. So I don't think Frank's power will be too much of a problem for him, and I don't really see him stopping Gervonta in any circumstance, to be honest. As for Gervonta Davis, we all know him as a one-punch knockout artist, who in more recent fights, we've seen he's more than that. He's also a masterclass boxer who has a very high IQ in the ring, who can calculate and time his opponents very well. He can move, has exceptional footwork, and I wouldn't be surprised if he outboxes Frank Martin. So how do I see this fight actually playing out, and who do I think will come out successful? Well, me, like many others, I'm favouring Gervonta Davis in this fight just because of that explosive power. I do think it will be a very competitive matchup in terms of boxing skill. I think it will be a chess match where we'll see glimpses of both throughout the whole fight. If Frank can stay away from getting hit by anything crazy throughout 12 rounds, then it may be a close decision, and honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell you who would win that one. But I don't see that happening just because of Gervonta's accuracy and ability to set up punches. And I think Frank Martin will eventually get caught, and if he walks into something big, I think it may be game over for him. But what do you guys think? Does Frank Martin have a good chance of finally being the one to beat Gervonta Davis, or will it be another walk in the park for Gervonta? Well, anyways, that will be all from me. We'll catch you in the next one.